That's your jam. That's your jam. That's your jam. You know my dance, but what's your plan of win?
Hello, Cuddle Beats. This is Eli. I'm Sydney, and we're here with
Asha Imuno and Kaicrewsade.
Okay, so we just wrapped up a sold-out show here in Chicago, you know?
That's right.
Asha, how are you feeling?
I'm on cloud nine. I'm just happy to be back in Chicago, you know?
Yeah. Chicago loves you. And you brought Kai
And I love
on as a
Chicago.
guest.
Yeah.
Kai, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. That shit was raw.
You guys performed Chicken Scratch? No, you performed.
I performed Chicken Scratch, yeah. Should I hold it? I'm off ski. Yeah, that was fun, bro. Performing Chicken Scratch. I was surprised motherfuckers knew it low key. Like, it was really dope to kind of like hear that shit screamed back to me. It's always dope to hear your joints screamed back to you.
Yeah, stream Kaicrewsade. Right.
Thank you.
And also, speaking of like that, felt crazy to hear people like sing your song back to you. Can you guys remember maybe your first show ever being like, oh, people know this shit, and like, how did you feel?
Oh my God, yeah. So first of all, shout out Annabelle Klein, giving me my first show ever. We were playing Zigzagging at Sunday Sounds a while back, and it was crazy to for the first time feel like people were like, oh shit, no nigga, we know this, and like my community in LA coming out and shit.
What about like your first time hearing like your music in like a store or just outside on the radio or some shit, you know?
It's actually nuts because when I first moved to LA, I was living in Echo Park, and there's this spot next to the Echoplex, like this pizza spot. If you're over there, like, you know what spot I'm talking about, but it's like walking distance from where I used to just be at, like listening to my first demos and shit. And we were there I was opening up for my good friend Curtis Waters.
Ooh.
That's
Shout
my
out.
dog, man. The CEO. But he was like, yo, they're playing, it was Perfect Pace, right? They were playing Perfect Pace at the pizza spot. And I was like, that's fucking nuts, because I remember just walking by, not $1 in my pocket, not able to get the pizza, and I'm like, they're just jamming next to the venues, just serendipity.
And do you have a favorite song like off your project, like off of Pins and Needles? Like, what's your favorite song off the, like me personally, my favorite song is like Florida Water.
Hey.
I love Florida Water.
Florida Water is my favorite to perform. I'm glad you fuck with that one too.
Talking about Pins and Needles, it came out March 1st, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I know you held a listening party for it like in January in Chicago, and there was a lot of excitement around it. So like now that it's been out for like a month, you know, and you're popping, how does it feel, you know?
It's been the most love, honestly. Like, I feel like having moments like those where it's like the community grows, and like even just walking around after the set, just now opening for Brahana, like I don't know, it just feels like kind of surreal to have it become 4D when we had these these songs as like kind of a best kept secret, and now it's like some people can live with. Is the greatest, you know?
Yeah, as you should. Yeah. So can you touch base on like what inspired the album name and like the album cover?
That's my nephew on the artwork. Yeah. That's hard. Yeah, that's my little man's, man. His auntie, my sister, was just playing with him one day. We were like all in the house in Moreno Valley at my mom's spot, and he was just like laying under the blanket, and it was just like really cute. He took a nap and she took a photo, and she sent it to me, and I was like, I don't know, it kind of welled me up because I hadn't been home in a while. Yeah. And I feel like that encapsulates so much of the feeling of the album, is this spirit of like growth and homecoming and becoming, and like, you know, setting an example for him to follow, where you like embrace who you truly are and where you're from. And you know, the title Pins and Needles is kind of like in reference to the bitter and the sweet and the full range of experiences. Like, you can't pick and choose when you want to feel. Like, you have to feel all the time, and it's like that's the only way that we can progress and become who we're meant to be, you know?
Right. Exactly. And also, Kai, like, speaking of like where you're from and community, like, you are a West Side pillar. Like, as a person from the West Side of Chicago, I'm like, how do you feel like holding on your shoulders like the name of the West Side and like popping your shit right now, because you've been going up?
I don't really like think about it. No corny shit. I low-key don't think about that shit at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like as far as like holding it up, I mean, if that's what the people saying, that's fly for real.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? If that's what you saying, I don't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, though, I mean, the West Side that's my space. That's my people's space. That's my family space. Like, I see my nana. My nana is a West Side Chicago black woman that's just strong as fuck, standing on her shit. And every time I see her, I'm like, bro, like, how could I not rep this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? This the fly shit ever. So, I love the West Side, man. I'm gonna continue to rep that shit, you know?
And like, how do you guys feel about like your audience growing? Like, what differences have you seen in like versus like maybe your first show, the first time you ever dropped a song, you know, versus like present day, you know, like in your audience?
I feel like for me, because I'm kind of like going through it right now, like I feel like over the last couple of months, I will say the exaggeration of like your phone not stopping, of like somebody hitting you, whether it's an app or whether it's messages, somebody hitting you and just telling you like, yo, this is the hardest shit. Like that doesn't really, that's not something that you really get used to. Like that shit always kind of like, oh, that shit hard. I will say that's changed. Like I feel like since I've dropped Chicken Scratch and I've dropped singles since Chicken Scratch, my phone has just not stopped with somebody telling me like, yo, I love this shit, or somebody, you know, your phone just don't stop with that shit. And I appreciate the love for
No, yeah, bro. I mean, in my own way, kind of similar. Like, being from Moreno Valley, it's like I was creating music with my closest friends out there just because it's what we love to do. And it's like what we had to do to like see the magic and where we were at. And would continue to do that forever, even without the people who like are reaching out and like finding their own way to live with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a thing where cultivating a community of people who genuinely just give a fuck is like the most energizing thing ever. And I feel like it's easy to take for granted, I guess, like how pure it is at the beginning when you're doing it just because like it's what you want to do. And I feel like part of maintaining that is being surrounded by like my closest friends to this day. And it's like, you know, the most special thing, I feel like.
Talking about community, Kai, you run Kai's Poetry Club. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about what Kai's Poetry Club is?
Yeah, I was in school. I'm still in school, but I was at a different school at the time, and they had Bible study, and it wasn't really Bible study. It was like an hour of like people getting together and just kind of like discussing hope and discussing their affirmations of what they wanted for themselves. And I was like, oh, this shit tight. Like, I gotta figure out a way to bring this shit back to the city. And I was like, I didn't really know how to connect or make it like, because mental health and things of that nature is just so hard to discuss. I didn't know how to kind of bring it in a way to where people could kind of like connect with it, where it's not too rushed and it's not too harsh. So I was like, I did poetry in high school and I did poetry when I was in college, and I was like, man, this shit is just like, I'm gonna just start a poetry club. Fuck it. The poetry club itself is to help people. It's to help people with their mental health and make people not like feel less alone. For real. That was like my whole thing. Just coming from Chicago, growing up here and everything, I kind of know how my homies and my brothers, like, I just see how even my homegirls, I see how we all deal with our mental health. Like, I see how we deal with it, and I see how like my older folks have dealt with it, and I'm like, man, like, I feel like we need a space for an hour where niggas could just be vulnerable, like, you know what I'm saying? So that was what the poetry club was like all hosted for. It's like to bring 200 niggas together and let's just talk about our deepest shit, and you know what I'm saying? Let's figure it out. I sometimes I don't even have people do poetry. Sometimes people just go up there and just give somebody advice or something they just heard from somebody else. So yeah, it's fly. Like, it's really just like I said, I'm just trying to bring people together for like 3 hours and just be vulnerable and just get that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
A testament to that is even like we went there last year and it was your birthday.
Thank y'all. Yeah, it was my birthday, bro.
It was your birthday, and
crazy.
Like that shit was like I bought some like tea from one of your vendors.
Oh yeah,
you know, that shit.
Yeah.
I still got that tea. I still be using that shit.
Yeah,
like I gave that to my.
Shout out.
I gave that shit to my daddy when he was like sick, you know, and I'm like, yeah, but it was a very like vulnerable and emotional time, but in a good way. Like, I left there feeling like I feel seen. Like, even if I didn't get on stage, like, I feel seen by like hearing other people's like experiences and like just them sharing and everything. So it's like tap in with Kai's Poetry Club.
I appreciate y'all for coming out too. That was dope as fuck. Thank y'all.
Kai, Who are some Chicago artists that you've been listening to recently?
I've been bumping Mad Low Life, St. Dewey Tyrelli. They deserve so much praise. Bumping Mad Minutes for Hire, Mad Guyon, Cannon. Can I say OGs too? Is OG Mad? I'm always bumping Saab, always bumping No Name and shit. But I will say for sure Low Life. If I can't think of too much right now, but I've been bumping hella Low Life. What they're doing, they don't see it yet, but years from now they're gonna be like, oh, they were doing some shit in Chicago.
Also, shout out Saint, because he's a tattoo artist.
He is. Like, shout out Saint. He a tattoo artist. Go get plugged. Go get you some tats. Shout out Saint, bro. He a tattoo artist. But what they're doing is fucking insane. I don't think people know the music that they're making, and it's hard to have duos. So for them to stick together and do it is amazing. But yeah.
Okay. And what about you? Who are some artists that you're listening to as of recently?
Man, Kaicrewsade. I've definitely been running Chicken Scratch. I've been listening to a lot of Salt, like Masterpiece. I've been listening to, Flower Child. I love Flower Child, like that Mia Gladstone joint, so good. I've been listening to No Name. I've been listening to a lot of Flying Lotus too. A lot of like Miles Davis and like old stuff like that. I love jazz. I gotta start the day off with cool jazz. Yeah.
Okay. And like, who are some real ones in you guys' corner? Like, who might you like bring on tour with you, or like, who's like the first type of person that you like might send your music to or something, or just like confide in, you know, for both of you?
In music?
Just in general.
Who's a real one in your life?
Man, a real one? There's so many. I mean, most of them are here. My dog Michael, my best friend, my stylist, my dog, my other best friend Gush behind the camera over there. That's my brother, man. My tour manager, my day-to-day, my dog, man. Amith, who's not here right now for some reason, but my manager, my best friend, like my dogs, my moms too. You know, we every day before the show we pray up. I call my moms, put on speaker. Like that's all the music I love comes from moms. So you know, got to love your mama.
Love your mom.
And what about you, Kai?
Definitely my dog, my brother Cohen, bro. Waters 2003. Go get Bow right now if you can. Nah, if you can, just go get it.
Body
Shout
of
out
Water
Bow.
Nation.
Shout out Bodies of Water. My dog Cohen, he's just a Chicago genius. One of the greatest motherfuckers to be in this creative space, and one of the goodest people in this shit. Minutes for Hire. That's my dog. That's my fucking brother. The greatest rapper ever. I don't know. Like, yeah, he is. He's the greatest rapper ever. Yeah, like, they're my dogs, bro. Juliana, shout out Juliana Miller, bro, my twin. Shout out my peoples for real. Steve, Dro, shout out all y'all. Love y'all. Asia Simone has amazing music coming. So yeah, shout out y'all. Appreciate y'all for real. They're my dogs for real.
Thank you guys so much for being on Cuddle Beats as our first male artists, you know.
Really?
And yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. That's hard.
And you guys are like setting the stone for like you guys are setting. You know?
Setting stone in this bitch. I appreciate you, gang.
We appreciate you guys so much, and we hope that you guys enjoyed your performance. Like, we know we enjoyed it, like, personally. And I just wish you guys so much abundance in your careers and your music, you know, like, just all around. And thank you so much for being here.
Hey, shout out Real Ones, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right,
Shout out
guys.
y'all. Hey, Ski.
Bye.
Bye.